did the series not break me as a teenager? It was really such a nostalgic read for me. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, I've completely abandoned my TPR for Sunrise on the Reaping. Last night, when I finished my book, The Fate Inked in Blood, I was like, what do I want to read next from my monthly TBR? And then I've been seeing all these videos for Sunrise on the Reaping coming out, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to abandon my TBR. I absolutely adored The Hunger Games as a teenager. I have such fond memories of reading the books over and over again, and yeah, I wish I had kept my Hunger Games book. When I moved over from South Africa to New Zealand, I could only bring so much and ended up giving those books away. I wish I still had them because I would love to have my hands on them and read them again. But I wondered, would I enjoy Sunrise on the Reaping as an adult as much as I enjoyed the Hunger Games trilogy as a teenager? And yeah, I just had to give it a go. The Hunger Games are set in a dystopian world where there are 12 districts and one capital. So the capital has all the wealth and the money and the power, and the rest of the districts are lower class and have to work really hard for the capital to get all the gain. Basically, the districts have to take part in the Hunger Games, which is where each district has to have 2 tributes each year where they will go to an arena and have to basically fight, and there's only one survivor out of all those 24 kids. And in the Hunger Games we meet a character called Haymitch. So each tribute has a mentor who's won the Hunger Games previously, and Haymitch is the main character's mentor. He is quite a interesting character, and he's obviously been through a lot. So Sunrise on the Reaping is his story, the Hunger Games that he went through, and I am so excited to read it, to see what he went through and why he is the way he is in the Hunger Games trilogy. So what I'm going to do is go make myself more comfortable in the lounge, and I've got probably a good chunk of time now to read it because I've just put my toddler down for a nap. Guys, why does that little design right over there make me so nostalgic for when I read the books in high school, the Hunger Games books? I just remember waking up in the morning and having breakfast, and all I wanted to do was read a Hunger Games book. I must have read the Hunger Games books like 4 or 5 times. Yeah, but that design just throws me right back to high school. In the first chapter, there's this quote that makes me a little bit sad. This is Haymitch speaking. So he's been given a little bit of alcohol for his birthday, and he says, I have to agree, and I'm not a drinker myself, but I'm glad to get the bottle. Which is so sad, knowing what we know when we read the first Hunger Games book and meet Haymitch for the first time. Like, I know the premise of this book is Haymitch's story of him going through the Hunger Games, because we know that from reading the original trilogy. But why am I still hoping that for some reason he doesn't get picked as a tribute for the Hunger Games? Even though I know this is the premise of the book. I know Maisie is supposed to be like this snotty character introduced in Sunrise on the Reaping, but why do I actually quite like her? I've been reading for a bit and just thought I'll turn the camera back on. Just got to about 19-20% and was sad. I feel like even though in my mind I was like, oh, I won't be sad with this book because I know it's going to happen. But even though we know what's going to happen, there are so many other elements and surprises that come in. But yeah, I am still enjoying this book so far. It's the next day and I am 40% of the way through this book at the moment. And wow, how did the series not break me as a teenager? So I probably read the series when I was around like 14, 15, 16. And I feel like I didn't get too emotional over the book, but reading it as an adult with these kids, literally kids in the Hunger Games, and what they're about to go through. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm a mom now and have a toddler that it just affects me more emotionally, but I can feel myself being a lot more emotional when reading this. I'm absolutely amazed at how the author brings in all the characters, old and new, and the way she makes a story that we already know the conclusion to new and refreshing and fun to read through. Like, we know what's going to happen at the end of the book, but the journey to get there has been really great so far. It's also really nice to be thrown back into this world and see the characters again. Obviously not Katniss or Peter, but get to know Haymitch's backstory a bit and what he went through. I am thoroughly enjoying it so far. It's really nice to see how Haymitch, how his mind is working as a teenager. Only 40% of the way through, but this is such a bingeable book. I'm going to be finished within a day or two. So it's the next day and there's no like 70-75% update because I binged the rest of the book last night. Can you guys hear that car? Let me close the window. Okay, I'm back. I binged that book last night. I ended up staying up till like 11, 11:30, just finishing the book because I could not put it down. I must admit though, the last bit of the book was really painful to read. I just had to push through it. I just had to get through it. That's why there's no update. But I thought I would, before I go, leave you guys with my last thoughts and feelings and opinions on how I felt about the book. It was really, really great getting Haymitch's backstory and figuring out how he went from a fun-loving, caring boy to a cynical adult at the beginning of Hunger Games. Yeah, he goes through a lot, and it's great to see his development and to see what he's gone through for us to get the bigger picture as to why he is the way he is in the Hunger Games series. It was really nice to see new characters and the connections to old characters, and the way Susan Collins just brought that all together was really fun to see. It was really such a nostalgic read for me. It was really nice to be thrown back into that world again. But the real question is, did I enjoy this book as an adult as much as I did the Hunger Games trilogy as a teenager? I did love this book. I ended up giving it a 4-star, but as a teenager, if I had had Goodreads and rated books, I probably would have rated this a 5-star and classified it as a 6-star series. But this book for me, The Sunrise on the Reaping, was a 4-star book. So even though I loved it, I probably am not as obsessed with it. I'm actually quite surprised at how well I emotionally handle these books as a teenager. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.